All right, guys. So Bob again, here to talk about Hellshock. Um, I loved it and hated it back in the day. I did not know who Jae Lee was. I think so. My first introduction to Jae Lee was in Image, not in Marvel. Okay, and this was just an Image comic, and I think I had seen something else that Jay Lee did, maybe for Jim Lee or something like that. I'm not sure what the first Image project thing it was, but I thought his artwork was cool. And then I thought this image actually just looked fucking awesome, right? Like, look at that. That's great. Is this a real photograph of a real person here? I don't know. I guess we'll look at the cover and see if that's in there or whatever. But I liked the cross on the face and everything. I thought it was cool. It was simple, and I had never seen it before. So the cover really grabbed my attention. And then as I was going through it, I was like, okay, so this is um, basically like Images the Crow. Okay, and I was a Crow fan too. Like the movie had just come out and everything. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. So let's see here. We have Hellshock, created by Jae Lee, a 4-issue miniseries. So the story and art is Jae Lee, colors, computer colors, lettering, film output in color. I don't know exactly what that means. So this was in 1994, and I'm not seeing any notes here as to whether or not this was a real person. So I mean, it definitely looks like they used the face of a real person. So I don't know. Maybe it's his art and it's just really good. I'm not sure. Um, but here we go. So we start with these pages of these bloody handprints, right? Um, I am pretty sure what happened here is that Jay Lee just had a black page, or a page that he inked, and then he just, with white medium, he did this, and then they digitally colored it red. So I am pretty damn sure that this page took like an hour to do. And to me, that's genius, okay? Because it looks awesome, and I know that it was like insanely quick. He did some ink spatter or whatever. He did some scratchy with a, probably like a Hunt 102 or something like that, and it just looks gorgeous. But basically, we have somebody here talking to someone named Josh, right? And they're trying to get they're asking Josh, things like, are you okay? The pizza's here. Maybe later we can rent a movie. It's somebody being extra nice to this person, Josh. But Josh isn't responding, okay? That's what we're getting from this. So then we turn to the next page and we can see Josh here as a little boy, right? And he's apparently a little boy who's hurt because it's his bloody handprints that are everywhere. And we can hear that it's the person that's behind this door that's talking to him. And again, they're being really nice. So we're getting the impression that whoever's behind this door here, most likely a parent or something, was abusing this poor child, okay? Because he's like, come on, little buddy. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean to. Damn it, Josh, open the door. Now, this person's getting angrier and angrier, right? This is gorgeous artwork here. I love every bit of it. And here's another page where if you look at this, you can tell that it is the same image of the doorknob, and another page that took, like, I don't want to say no effort, but it was something I know that you could do in the shortest amount of time, right? With some photocopying and stuff like that. So you see here, he's getting more angry and more violent. You're hearing these noises, right, as we're doing a close-up on the door. And then the door shatters in, and there's screaming for Josh, but Josh apparently climbed out of the window, as we're seeing with the bloody handprints, and came down this escalator. Now, not escalator, but fire escape, right? I have to say, this is gorgeous. Like, all of the, I'm going to close in on it a bit here so that we can see, but like the detail there is insane. And I'm wondering if that was just an image that was put through some filters, and that a lot of this was a lot more digital than we thought because of the way the tiny detail with the bricks and everything are. I just feel like I would take an eternity to draw, but if he drew that by hand, it's awesome, okay? So apparently Josh got away, okay? So we cut to darkness, and as you know, somebody strikes a match to light a candle. We see that it is two sisters, okay, and one of them is a little afraid because apparently they've had a blackout. Um, and the one sister is saying, or mother is saying, there's no reason to be afraid. Also, can I just say that I'm not sure what came first, because I know this is how Adam Hughes does his signature, right? It's the ah. But I remember reading so many comics that whenever anybody said ah, it was done in the same exact font as the way that Adam Hughes would do it. So I don't know if that was just a way that they would do it because of that, or if Adam Hughes adapted it because that's what everybody does. But I always thought that that was pretty cool. Um, so basically, she jumped. She was startled, and she's like, "You need to stop right now because you're getting on my nerves." And the sister in the back is like, "Well, there's somebody here," and she's like, "That's impossible. I've locked all the doors myself and everything, but there is somebody here in the darkness, as we can see." And they're telling him that the church is closed, and they're going to have to ask him to leave. Okay, and then we're going to get this double page splash of this person's face, right? And in the background here, we can see that a priest is dead up against an altar. Okay, so that's the picture that we're getting. Pretty cool. The digital flame work here is a little weird, but I do like the font that was used here. I know this is early digital comics graphic design and everything, right? But I did like the idea of that. Okay, so now we're cutting to this police officer, right? And he's doing, the grizzled old cop routine. He's tough. He's not surprised by anything that goes on or whatever. But he got a call to show up at a church because apparently somebody killed a priest. So he pulls up here, and these nuns are panicking, and they're telling him that it's inside the church. And he comes out already with his gun drawn. But this is an awesome picture, right? And again, we have like the detail here is pretty good, and I'm not sure if he's like using a photocopy of a real thing here and then putting the other stuff on it, because it tends to look like that, like with the car here and with the way the backgrounds are. I think it actually merges with his artwork perfectly. And then I think he just like throws some ink spatter on there. I actually think it's a brilliant idea. But he races into the church, and I do love this where we're just getting the light that's coming in from this little window in the door, and the rest of the church is cast in darkness, right? Now we cut back to Josh, who had run away. So as he's running away, somebody is calling for him, right? And it's this homeless guy here wrapped in a blanket, and he's like, "Dude, I can tell that you have a secret. I also have a secret, so come here so I can tell it to you." But as the kid gets closer to the guy, he starts getting creeped out, right? Because he could like see the guy, and the guy's like, come on, I'm not gonna hurt you. But the kid's like, and so on second thought, I have to go. And the homeless guy's like, "No, did you hear me? I have a secret to tell you." But Josh runs away, and I guess the homeless guy is laughing, It's giving really creepy, dark vibes and everything, but I like dark. I like that type of thing. And with this comic, I was just like, this is awesome. Jae Lee's perfect for this type of thing. And I was actually into it. But Josh goes running, and when he does, he hides in what looks like a sewage drain, right? And he's talking about how bad it smells and everything. But as he's sitting there, somebody starts talking to him. And it's like, "Hey, Josh, it's about time you found me." And when Josh turns around to look, you can see that he gets a little scared, right? But we don't see what Josh has seen right there. But we cut back to the detective, and he sees the priest here killed by what looks like maybe a blunt weapon or something at the altar. And again, all of this is like the way that this cross looks here and everything. It's good. Like the same thing with these church walls and everything. Like again, I'm wondering, did Jae Lee draw all of this, or are these photocopies and then he puts his imagery over top of it, right? But basically he sees, the police officer sees this, and he's looking around for who could have done it when he finds this guy sitting here praying. Now it goes right to be continued, okay? Okay, so that is disappointing, okay? We get a comic, And we really had nothing happen here. We have a kid who's abused and he runs away, right? We have a priest killed in a church, and we have a detective show up to see it. These are the pages to that right there. That's it, right? That's half the book, all right? The other half of the book is some very cool pinups here of Hellshock, right? I mean, this is awesome artwork. I love it, right? Everything about it, even the digital parts, even though it's early digital or whatever, all of this is awesome. And you know, look, this picture right here, it's great. Now, apparently, Jae Lee had started doing this before. And I know this because I've done this too, right? Like with my comic Ghost Girl, I started drawing it a certain way and I wasn't happy with it. So I ended up throwing all of that out and starting over again. And the new way I'm doing it, I'm much happier with, right? But I try to put more thought into it because it's like a lot of wasted time in artwork when you draw all this stuff and then you realize none of it's going to work and you want to go a different direction or something like that. The artwork is gorgeous here, but this is what it was before, as Jae Lee put it, it was banished to hell. So he was not happy with it, even though it's, you know, it's pretty good artwork. This picture is gorgeous. I love it. It's great. I love that it's black and white. I actually feel like it works better in black and white. He did not need to color this book. The book would have been better had it just stayed like this. We can see that he's using the white medium here and everything to get a lot of these details, and it just works beautifully. Some of this looks like it was shrunk down. Like I think that's 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 4 page, right? He put it all on there as to not have more pages. But you're also giving us like the, you know, you drew a lot here, right? It looks cool. You weren't happy with it, okay. But you did, this is a 4-issue miniseries, and do you feel like this was enough for an introduction to a first issue? Like, we didn't see who any characters were or anything. I mean, yes, I'm intrigued. I want to continue on, but I just don't feel like we got enough. This guy looks amazing, and then he never shows up in the newer Hellshock series, right? The one that he ends up doing. By the way, if you haven't seen The Dragon lately, you're a dork. And I mean that now, okay? Eric Larson is one of the best. Love his comic, okay? Yep, so that was the end. As we can see here, we've got like 10 pages of ads for so many other books. That's what this comic is. This comic was mostly ads for other books, and we get a very small smidgen of an introduction to Hellshock. The artwork was great. It's definitely, in my opinion, it's worth it. It was only $1.95, you know. But for a comic, you generally do tend to want to get more. But I will be completing this. I have all of the issues. So again, guys, I want to thank you for watching. Please hit like if you like the video. It helps my channel grow. And if you'd like to see more, hit subscribe. So until next time.